Yeah.
That's the other part. While we were doing all these things, we were putting in the work. We were nonstop creating. So when the time came and we met Dallas with no money in our pocket, but he didn't know that because we came in there like we was already millionaires. We was like, yeah, because, we were confident because we had already put in the work, like, the tracks, like, because for example, we played him some songs. And so he was filling the songs. That was on a Thursday. The next morning, he was like, I got to go to New York for the weekend. He said, I want to see what you guys can do over the weekend. So where you guys staying at? We was like, we don't have nowhere to stay because the guy that we had met, we ran into from Detroit, he was literally leaving the next morning. He was leaving too. So it was either, if we hadn't met Dallas that night, the next morning I was going to call my mom. Hey, Mom, you won't believe this, but I'm in Atlanta. Actually, I did call her. I told her I was in Atlanta, but I didn't ask her for anything. Okay. I said, Mom, I'm in Atlanta. This was like the night we first got into Atlanta. I called my mom, said, Mom, I just needed, she thinking I'm still in Detroit. I was like, I'm in Atlanta. I'm following my dreams right now. I know this is very shocking, but I just want you to know that I'm okay and I'm fine. And I actually wasn't fine, but I'm saying this to my mom, like, I'm okay. I'm good. Of course, she was nervous. And so anyway, like Dallas, when we met him, so that weekend he had to go to New York. We knew, okay, this is our opportunity to really show him what we can do. So from Friday to Monday, we must have did 30 tracks, full tracks, changes, bridges, and his engineer was right there. So Dallas comes back after the weekend and we just play him all the songs we did. So he's listening to it and he's talking to his engineer. He's like, oh, these dudes did all this over the weekend? And he's like, yeah, we did all this over the weekend. It's like, man. So that's when he was like, okay, I want to sign you guys. It's perfect timing. Because at the time he signed us, he had just lost his best friend in a motorcycle accident. Dallas was about to start. He was going to be a producing team with a guy named Randy Rand. Randy Rand came from the Jam and Lewis camp.
Wow.
Jimmy Jam and Terry Lewis. Mm-hmm. He literally had just moved to Atlanta. Him and Dallas was going to be producer partners. Got in a motorcycle accident, was killed the first month he was there.
Wow.
Here we come, and Randy was from Detroit. So here we come, two guys that came down from Detroit, even though really Illinois, but we had just drove down from Detroit, and so in Dallas' mind, was like, wait a minute, this is all sent by God. Like,
yeah.
It was crazy. And the guy that Dallas was about to produce with, he was the best friend, one of the best friends of the guy, Paul Hill, that I mentioned a few minutes ago, that introduced us to Dallas. The reason why it was so crazy that we ran into Paul Hill, because he was literally in Atlanta working in Dallas's studio. So when we ran into him literally on the street in Atlanta, when the moment we pulled into Atlanta, we ran into Paul. It was like, Paul, it's like, what y'all doing here? It was like, man, we're trying to meet Dallas. It's like, I'm working at a studio. I was like, what? And so that's how we were able to meet Dallas.
Wow.
And so getting back to when he went out of town and came back, we showed him all these songs we did. He's like, man, this is perfect timing because I really don't even feel like working right now. Because he was mourning.
Yeah, his friend.
His best friend. And so so he's like, man, I got TLC new album. I got Boys and Men new album. I got Hall & Oates. I got Lionel Richie. I got Tina Turner. And he's naming all it. And we literally worked on all these people. Starting like a few days later. The first thing he gave us to do was a remix to Tina Turner, I Don't Want to Fight, from the What's Love Got to Do With soundtrack.
I love that song in the film, yeah.
That was one of the first things he did. The next thing we did was TLC, Get It Up, on the Poetic Justice soundtrack.
Oh, Get It Up, yeah.
With, the film with Janet Jackson and Tupac.
It was Tupac, yeah.
The next thing is like Lionel Richie. It's like, you guys meet with Lionel Richie today. It was like, huh? And Lionel walks in the studio. And like, we're playing all these amazing songs. Now, mind you, we're sleeping on Dallas's floor. I'm sorry, I left that part out. We slept on Dallas's floor for the first 6 months we were signed to him.
Did he know that?
Yeah, he offered. We had nowhere to live.
Okay.
Oh, I'm sorry, I skipped this part. When he went out of town and he said, "Where you guys staying?" We was like, "Hey man, we don't have nowhere to stay." We said, "We can." He said, "Well, I could sleep on the floor of my studio." Now, mind you, he had an amazing studio. Still to this day, Dallas had one of the most amazing studios I've ever seen. And so it was like, "Hey, with pleasure." And it's funny. I was telling my son this the other day. Guess who else was sleeping on the floor at Dallas studio at that time? I hope I won't say too much. Busta Rhymes.
Oh, goodness.
1993. This was before Busta even went solo.
Oh, he was still with the new leaders of the new school, new underground.
But that's how kind of tells. Yes, because Busta was what a lot of people don't know. Busta was very much into producing early on.
Oh, I didn't realize
he
that.
produced a lot of tracks on Another Bad Creation's second album.
What?
He did like half the album from
Busta
producing.
Rhymes.
Yes.
With his real name or somebody else?
Friends with Busta. We all sleeping on the floor at Dallas studio. A lot of people don't know that. And so Busta comes from very humble beginnings. Even though he was in Leaders of the New School and he was already a legend when he went solo.
Oh.
But he was like really grinding. He went, I get it. Busta comes from very humble beginnings as well too.
Didn't realize he was a producer. Wow.
And y'all did all this music. This is crazy. Yeah, I want you guys to do all these projects. The next thing that was amazing that he did, that's for a second. So he immediately just put us right to work. And before he did that, he did something very incredible. He said, before we get started, he said, "I want you guys to write down every bill that you have." And I'm like, oh my God, because I had a ton of bills. When I was in Detroit, I had gotten this car on a first-time buyer program. I hadn't paid the car note in like 6-7 months. People thought I had stole the car. So I would call the car company every month, like, "Guys, bear with me. I promise you I'm not trying to steal this car. Promise you I'm going to pay this car." "Where are you? Where are you?" Literally. Oh, and I'm like, "No, man." And I had gotten in an accident in Tim's sister's car, and the accident was all my fault. It was like a 5-car accident. It was, so mind you, so he leaves the room. So we're like, "Hey, man, we shouldn't say nothing. We probably shouldn't say nothing, man, because we don't want him to be like, 'Man, y'all got all these bills.'" Hey, man, no, it ain't worth it. He comes back in and he noticed we hadn't wrote anything down. It's like, "No, seriously, just write down whatever it is. I don't care what it is. Just whatever write it down. Just write it down." So it's like, oh man. And Tim had a lot of stuff. Tim's had a newborn. And so we just had a lot of bills that had stacked up. So we just wrote it all down, man. And so he came in, took the papers, whatever, walked out. We was like, "Damn, we might have messed up, man. We shouldn't have said nothing." The next morning he came in and he handed me a check and he handed Tim a check. He said, "Go pay all those things off."
What?
The next morning. So it's literally like when I tell people, like, and I learned this, it's your circumstance literally doesn't matter. What matters is your state of being and your mindset. Your circumstance doesn't matter, because moments like that, they actually happen all the time. But a lot of times we say, "Oh, that's just coincidence," but it really, miracles happen around us all the time. And so he came in and handed us a check, like, here, and it was literally for the amount that I said, and like, it was back then, it was like over $20,000 each for our bills. Like, I know for me, mine was over 20,000 because I had that car accident, and Tim had a lot of stuff. He had bills that stacked up, and like,
did you miss
child
anything?
Support.
Did you write everything down, or did you leave something?
We wrote down everything.
Wow.
And he said, "No, I want you guys to write down every single thing that you owe, just so we can know." We didn't know he was gonna pay it off the next day. And of course, you know, in the music business, the first word you learn is recoupable. So we paid him back. We paid him back and then some. And so, but like the man literally changed our life overnight and the lives of many, many other people. And so that's why, you know, forever I have tremendous love for Dallas, man. And, you know, taking a chance on us like that. And it was all worth it. It was worth it for him. It was worth it for us. You know, it was worth it for me all those days when I was 8, 10 years old, my friends outside playing and I'm inside, you know, playing music, you know, and loving it. But,
Yeah.
you know, they just realized it when I look back on things, it was all worth it. And it continues to be worth it because, you know, music has been for me the gift that keeps on giving.
Yeah.
Hey guys, thanks for watching. Thanks for being a part of Halftime Chat. Please remember to subscribe, share, and comment. But most importantly, why don't you become a member of Halftime Chat? We've got amazing videos, amazing perks, and being able to support the channel. But anyway, thanks for watching. Take care.
I never participated in that category.
Somewhere in between
us for even loving us, on which I didn't miss you with.
What was it like growing up?
She's still making an impact on 4 houses down.
I have a couple pieces.
Trying to get this one and that one.
That works for me, but just for me,
No. Okay, you okay?
They don't understand what Jonas boys are winning all spirits.
Play it.
these guys, they all work together.
I mean, I love all different genres.